Were you ever that one in a million? If so, what's your story? My daughter Alice was diagnosed with leukemia at age 7. The doctors gave her a 15% chance of survival, and the treatment would cost more money than I could make in 10 years. I worked as a mechanic, and even with insurance, the bills would bankrupt us. I remember sitting in that cold hospital room, watching Alice color in her superhero book while the doctors explained her odds. She looked so small in that big hospital bed, her favorite stuffed penguin tucked under her arm. I couldn't tell her that Daddy might not be able to save her. That night, I posted her story on a local community page, hoping maybe someone could point me toward resources or charities. I included a picture of Alice in her hospital gown, smiling despite everything. Within hours, the post went viral. The next morning, my phone was exploding with messages. A woman named Rachel, whose son had survived the same type of leukemia, messaged me about a specialist in Boston who had pioneering treatments, but the wait list was 2 years long. Then, something incredible happened. Rachel happened to be childhood friends with the specialist's wife. She made some calls, and suddenly Alice had an appointment for next week, but we still had no way to afford it. That's when our small town showed up in ways I never expected. The local diner where Alice loved getting chocolate chip pancakes started a fundraiser. My co-workers at the garage organized a car wash. Even Alice's first-grade teacher emptied her retirement savings to help. The most surprising donation came from Mr. Anderson, this grumpy old man who lived down the street. He'd always yell at neighborhood kids for walking on his lawn. He showed up at my door one morning with a check for $50,000. Turns out his daughter had died from leukemia in 1982. He'd been saving that money to help someone else's child ever since. Within 2 weeks, our GoFundMe hit $380,000. People from all over the country were sharing Alice's story. A local news station did a segment about her, and it got picked up nationally. But then we hit a snag. The airline lost our luggage containing all of Alice's medical records on our way to Boston. The specialist couldn't start treatment without them, and getting copies would take weeks we didn't have. I was about to lose hope when the airline CEO's wife saw Alice's story on the news. She personally dispatched a team to find our bags. They searched through thousands of pieces of luggage at 3 different airports. At 3 a.m., while Alice and I were sleeping in our hotel room, someone knocked on our door. It was an airline employee who had driven 6 hours to hand-deliver our bags. She refused to let me pay for her gas. The treatment was brutal. Alice lost her hair and couldn't keep food down, but she never stopped smiling. She'd tell jokes to other kids in the cancer ward, trying to make them laugh through their pain. One day, this big, tough-looking biker guy came to visit the kids. He was covered in tattoos and looked intimidating, but he spent hours doing magic tricks and making balloon animals. Turned out he was a pediatric surgeon who did this on his days off. After 6 months of treatment, Alice's cancer went into remission. The doctors called it a miracle, but I knew it wasn't just one miracle. It was thousands of small miracles from strangers who became family.